Hey guys, welcome back to another video cast for Visual Communications 103, Interactive Media. So let's see here. Let me check the announcements real quick. Okay, you'll notice the top announcement, we've got this Google Doc right here. So that's going to be the notes. So go ahead and copy that and paste it into your browser in a new tab. Okay, so we went over this example, which was this image that we can move around. It's got the Google fonts. We've got this crosshair instead of a mouse. We've got these links that change color. We've got this zippy edge that we can drag in and out to hide our main layer. We can switch the image. We've got these rounded corners and a drop shadow. We've got textured background. Close the window. You can also move it around with these. So yeah. But I'm not going to be going over that. What I'm going to go over is, if you scroll down, we've got all these third-party jQuery plugins. So we've got jQuery UI, we've got jQuery tools, and we've got various others like jQuery Cycle, Lightbox, FancyBox. And what's the point of all these plugins? Instead of having to reinvent the wheel every time and having to recode all this complex stuff, there's people out there who are generous enough to have done all the coding for you, and they make it available for free, give you demos and documentation, and show you how to use it, and you have these really awesome tools available to you free of charge. You don't have to put a watermark on it, you don't have to credit them anywhere. So that's really cool, and that makes it really easy for people who are not really advanced coders, myself included, believe it or not, because when it comes to PHP and advanced JavaScript and stuff, that's sort of where I get a little out of my comfort zone. So just for example though, I've built my own site, punchmybucket.com, using some of these plugins. So this fade effect, that is using jQuery Cycle, which is one of the plugins. And when we go to the different sections, you got all these buttons at the top. When you click on them, it fades it to the next image. And that's also a part of jQuery Cycle. And all these buttons are automatically generated with that plugin. Another thing I used it in was in my news section. When I post a link to some of my new work, like that, it creates this nice box. It fades out the background. It gives me a previous and next button, and it reshapes the frame to fit the photo. It also has this close button. It tells me what image I'm on. So pretty cool. There's another site, Party with Panda, that I built that uses another plugin. If you go down to one of these albums, after it loads all of the thumbnails, which may be a while because he shoots a lot of photos. Okay, once it's loaded everything, you click on it, does the little thinking wheel, and creates this cool thing. And down here I have these share icons or a download, and also it gives the title of the picture here. And it also has the next and previous buttons and a close button as well. So that was the FancyBox jQuery plugin. So what I'm going to be demonstrating is how to generate tabs, and also how to do a slideshow using these third-party plugins. So, but unfortunately, let me think. Yeah. Well, no. Okay. I was going to say, unfortunately, you can't use JSBin because you're going to have to download these files, but I think some of them provide a URL that you can actually plug into. So I'm going to create a new thing for JSBin. So jsbin.com. Got my split screen. I'm going to go ahead and delete the JavaScript side. All right, and I'm going to include jQuery UI 1.8. All right, so the first one we're going to go over is jQuery UI. So let's go there, ui.jQuery.com. Okay, and they give you all this documentation. So we've got draggable, droppable, resizable, selectable, sortable, and then we've got things like tabs, accordions. So I'll just do the accordion because that's kind of a cool feature. So you got your section 1. When you click on this, it expands it, does that cool animation. Pretty sweet. And down below, they give you the source code to show you how they did it. So click View Source. And this all goes inside the body. So you notice they don't have a body or a head or HTML tag. So you can't just paste this in a blank document. You need those outer tags. So I'll show you the correlation. So we've got this div with an ID of accordion, and inside of that we've got a header text. It says section 1, and then inside of that we have or below that we have a div, and inside of that a paragraph with some text. So and then that's all inside the div. So that's all you need for the HTML. But for the jQuery, let me see here. This is it right here. That's all the jQuery you need to type. And basically it's saying whatever is inside of a div with an ID, so remember this sign means ID, of accordion, it's going to apply the accordion jQuery function to it. So notice we got section 1, scroll up, section 1. It starts with Maris anti-blandit, and you'll see down here Maris anti-blandit. And then if we go section 2, sed known erna, section 2, sed known erna. So that's the correlation. So let's write that code. So let's go down to the body section, open that up. I'm going to create a new div with an ID of accordion. Did I spell accordion right? Oh, I-O-N, not A-N. So A-C-C-O-R-D-I-O-N. I'm going to go down a few and close the div. And that's just so I don't forget to add it later, which happens to a lot of people. And inside of that, let's see how they did it. Yeah, basically just you've got a header tag, and that's going to contain this thing right here. And then you've got a div, which is going to contain everything else. So let's say ours is like a portfolio site or something. I don't know. So we're going to make an h1 tag, close it. Inside of that, we're going to say home. And then after that, we're going to have a div. Don't need to give it an ID. And inside of that, I don't think you even need a paragraph tag, but we can just put it just so it's a little more proper. Hello, this is the home. And then below that, make the next header, so h1, We're going to call it about, close h1, and then a div, close the div, then paragraph. Inside that paragraph. And if I'm going too fast, you can always just hit the pause button. So don't forget about that. All right, so this is the totally awesome about page. Get pumped. And you can even put an image in there. So I'm going to put img tag, and this is totally optional, but src equals, and I'm going to close it. And inside of that src, you can go on the web and pick out any image you want, put it in there. So for example, I'm just going to go to photo.tutsplus.com. I'm going to right click on an image. Let's see, copy image URL. Or it might say copy image source or something like that. And I'm just going to paste that in the source. Okay, and I'm going to create one more div. Sorry, I forgot the h1 tag. So h1, close h1. This is going to be my portfolio. Whoops. Go between the div tags, and this is a bunch of my work. And again, you can put tables, you can put images, whatever you want. All right, so now that we have the HTML structure, all we have to do is go over here and do the $, quotes, $, accordion, end quote, at parentheses dot accordion, and open close parentheses, semicolon. And that should be it. Let's see if it works. Ooh. And indeed, and they even give you a little scroll bar. See how fast we did that? That was awesome. Give your guys selves a pat on the back. If for whatever reason that didn't work, what you can do is, I just showed you the process so you can do it yourself, but just so you know how it works, you can go back to jQuery UI. All you need to do is copy from where it says div ID equals accordion and down to this div. Close it. It's going to be right before the end demo. Paste that in the body section. And now go back. We just need to copy the jQuery. So that is right here. That one line. Boom. Preview it. Incredibly simple. And you see they have lists. You can have all kinds of junk. So as long as you have, and also these are H3 tags. I used H1. I don't think it really matters. Let's change it to 6. H6, see if that changes anything. Didn't really change it. So as long as it's a header tag, it doesn't matter what number. Okay, so that's demo number 1. So I'm going to delete that. Delete that. Okay, let's say you want some tabs. Along the side here, under widgets, you got tabs. Click that. Got these cool tabs here. View source. Check it out. That's all the jQuery you have to write. That one stinking line. And then here under tabs, or this is all the HTML you have to write. A div with an ID of tabs, and let's see how they're doing it. Okay, so they have an unordered list with list items containing the tabs. So these things right here, this yellow part is the unordered list, and these are the list items. And below that, they have a div with tab-1, tab-2, tab-3. So let's code out our own first. So div ID equals tab. In fact, the ID can be whatever you want. You can have it say my tabs, as long as you call it in the jQuery. Close the div. I wonder why that didn't untab. Okay. So remember, first we need an unordered list. Okay. I'm going to close it off. Inside of that, I'm going to have my list items. And let's have, 3. Okay. First one, we can just call it about. Next one, work. Next one, contact. Okay. So next we're just going to create divs for each of those corresponding tabs. So div ID equals tab-1. Close it off. Inside of there, see, this is going to correlate with the about. So if you just want, I don't know, just for your own organizational purposes, you can create a comment in HTML. So that's caret, exclamation mark, dash dash, and then to close the comment, it's dash dash caret. So inside of that, you can say about tab or something. And that's just for your own personal organization. So this is where I'm going to tell you about me. Okay, and then instead of retyping each tab, let's just copy that, paste it, and paste it. So we got tab 2, tab 3, change that to work tab, change that to contact tab, and this is where I'm going to show you my work. And this is the contact. Give me a call at 555-5555, or email me at, and then we're going to create an anchor tag, href equals, and to email somebody, you have to type mail to : and then type the email address. So punch my bucket at gmail.com. And then inside of there, we're going to type what we see for the link. So punch my bucket at gmail.com. Then we're going to close the link. Okay, so now over here, all we have to do is $, and then the selector, so parentheses, quote, and then remember I called it my tabs, so my tabs, quote, dot tabs, open and close parentheses, semicolon, and let's see, yep, tabs, dot tabs. Let's see if that works. Okay, something went wrong. Okay, I see what the problem is. So we actually have to create a link inside of each of these list items that goes to the ID of the tab. So you notice this one, href equals $tabs -1. Right here, the ID is tabs -1. So let's do that. So list item 1, a href equals $tab -1. And then don't forget to close your anchor tag. So I'm just going to copy that, paste, and copy the closing tag, copy, paste, change that to 2, 3. So let's go check it out. About, this is where I'm going to tell you about me. Work, this is where I'm going to show you my work. Contact, give me a call or email me. And when I hover over it, you'll notice down here in the bottom left corner, it says mail to. When I click on it, it's actually going to open up my mail program. Okay, but if you're super lazy, you can just delete that. Go in here, copy from there to there. Don't copy the demo div or that right there. Just this copy inside the body, paste. And in the JavaScript side, that little bitty line, copy, paste, preview, voila. That took what? I don't know, 1 minute, less than a minute to get those tabs. So pretty cool. Okay, next I'm going to show you one more thing from jQuery UI, and that is there was a pop-up one. Button, tab, slider. I'm not seeing it. Progress bar. Oh, dialogue. Here it is. So that's to get one of these things to pop up. So to do that, whatever has an ID of dialogue, you're gonna do dialogue. So let's look at their code. They've got a div with an ID of dialogue. It has a title of basic dialogue. And then there's a little paragraph. So in order to get that to pop up, they probably have a link somewhere that activates it. Or I bet we can figure it out without it. So let's try that. So inside of this first one, the tab 1, let's create a new paragraph. And we're going to create a link. So a href equals, and this is going to be a link that when you click it, it calls the dialog box. So we're going to say click here for a pop-up. And for the href, we're going to do $dialog. Now, let's create a div up here with an ID dialog. Close it. And the title is what's going to show up in the title bar of the dialog. So let's, I wonder how you, okay. So it says basic dialog here. That's what they put into the title for this div tag. So for our div, we got ID of dialog and title equals boom. Whoop, I typed boob. Boom. This is the title of dialog. And inside of that, this is the text that shows up in the dialog. Boy. I've got tabs going. We're not going to delete that. We're just going to add to it. So $, parenthesis, $, dialog, dot dialog. Let's see if it works. And it's already up there. Boom, this is the title of the dialog. This is the text that shows up, boy. So I'm going to close it. Let's see if this link works. Ooh, didn't work. So, I think, let me try something real quick. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to give this link that creates the pop-up, I'm going to give it an ID. So ID equals pop-up. So now I'm going to type in front of this function pop-up. And I'm going to put that in squiggly brackets. And I think you need a opening and close parenthesis here. So I've called this function pop-up, and this is what it's going to do. So now I'm going to say, when I click on a link with an ID of pop-up, dot pop-up. And that's the function I just created. So let's see if it works. So it's not there originally. If I click on it, still didn't work. Wait, I got this text right here. Okay, well, that's for another time. I'll figure it out eventually. Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's go ahead and, well, you can also have sortable lists. I think we can go over this. So that's where you can drag things out of order. Let's see how they did that. We've got an unordered list with an ID of sortable and a bunch of list items. So, and the way we call it is with that. So, right here we've already got an unordered list. Well, no, that's for the tabs, I'm sorry. So inside of one of these tabs, let's create an unordered list. So let's choose tab 3. UL ID equals sortable. Close it. Okay, inside of that, list item, say number 1. I'm just going to copy and paste. So we got number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, 6, 7, 8. Now over here, I'm going to say sortable. Sortable. And I'm going to get rid of this function stuff. So we've got tabs.tabs, sortable.sortable, dialog.dialog. So in this third one, let's see if it sorts. And indeed, look how they're sorting. So very cool. Okay, that's enough with jQuery UI. As you can see, it's extremely easy to use. Okay, next. I'm gonna let's do the lightbox one. So copy, paste. Okay, says get the new version. Go ahead and download it. Unzip it. So here it is on my desktop. We're going to be working the rest of this in Dreamweaver since we're dealing with downloadable stuff. But you'll notice they give you a folder called Photos. It's got your big pictures and it's got little thumbnails. It also has your JavaScript. So it's got the regular jQuery file, and you've got the different lightbox files. They also give you images, which is for the close button, the next, the previous, the loader. So that's what those are for. And then you have your CSS, which is how they style their box. So we've got an index, which is a little demonstration they give you. So go ahead and open that. And the highlighting is being caused by the CSS. And then these images are the ones that are called thumb. When you click on them, it gives you the big image. Also, you can put text down here. So you can do next, previous. So go ahead and close that. Let's open that file in Dreamweaver. So I'm going to close those. So index.html. And if you don't have Dreamweaver, there's also Komodo Edit and Aptana. I'll just stick with Dreamweaver. Okie dokie. You can close, actually go ahead and tell it to open and go to your desktop or wherever it saved it to. Inside the jQuery lightbox, open the index. Okay, so we're kind of cramped on my screen, sorry about that. I'm going to switch to the split view. In fact, I'm just going to switch to code view. I'm going to shrink those a bit. I'm just compressing a few things to give me some more visual space. So let's see how they did it. They've got some styles here which are just styling that grid of photos. And so really, they have some extra code. I'm going to go ahead and delete it. Essentially, all you need is an A tag, and with the href being the larger photo you want to access, and inside of that, the image. So, in fact, I'm just going to delete all of this. Well, but before I do, it's looking for, see, this is the jQuery code right here. It's looking for a div with an ID of gallery, and inside of that, it's looking for a link. And that's what it's going to apply Lightbox to. So I don't want to delete everything, but I'm going to anyways. So the way you would do that is create a new div, ID equals gallery. Okay, inside of that, all you need is an A tag, href equals, and you can go ahead and click browse. That'll make it a little easier. We're going to go inside of photos, and this is what we're wanting to pull up in the lightbox. So we want the larger image. So we're going to choose image 1, and inside of that we're going to put an image. So img src equals, whoops, quote, and you can hit browse again, choose the thumbnail, close it, and I'm just going to copy and paste. And I'm just going to replace that with image 2, 3, 4, let's see how many were there. Oops, there were 5 images, so 5. Delete this last one and make sure the image source for the thumbnail is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to put a line break. Well, I guess you don't have to. And I'm going to go ahead and delete this style. So this is essentially all you need. And you don't even need these comments. So we've got our scripts calling for the jQuery and then the lightbox. And then we've got a CSS linking to the lightbox CSS. And then we've got our script tag, which contains our jQuery code. And then inside the body, we've got a div with an ID of gallery, a series of links, and inside of them we've got images. So let's see if it works. And you can go ahead and save. Let's see. And boom, it works. Now, in most browsers, they'll give you that blue border. You can just get rid of that by styling it. So below your script tag, style, and we want to get rid of the border on an image that's wrapped in an A tag, because that's what causes that blue border to appear. So it's going to be A space img. So remember the hierarchy. It goes A and then img. Mustache. And inside of that we're going to say border none. And let's give it some padding. 10 pixels. And what else? Let's give it a little MOZ border radius, just 5 pixels, and then dash WebKit border radius 5 pixels. So let's preview that, save it. It didn't give me the borders or but it did get rid of that blue border, and it gave me some spacing. And you don't even need images there. You can essentially just have it say, image 1, and when I preview that, Chrome has problems. So I'm going to try Safari. So it's going to say image 1, but it's still going to work. So that's Lightbox. Okay, close out of that. Okay, so that's Lightbox. But again, you can extend it. You can put all kinds of images, or I mean other options in there. That's totally up to you if you want to go further with it. Same with jQuery UI. Under the Options tab, there's all kinds of other stuff you can do to it. And it'll show you how to do it. If you click the little arrow, it tells you how to implement all these options. Okay, I'll do jQuery cycle, and that'll be the last one. Okay, this does all kinds of crazy effects to your photos. So let's go ahead and download it. Download the cycle plugin. Click download. Here it is. They make me a nice little folder, and again they give me an example to work with. Whoops. So let's right click that, open it with Dreamweaver, and let's see the code they have. This is all the jQuery they're doing. So it's saying whatever has a class of slideshow, we're going to apply the cycle plugin. So we've got class equals slideshow, so there it is. So all you're doing is putting all your images in there, and that's it. And these styles are just, let's go ahead and preview it. So it should be cycling naturally, yep. So this right here is the border, the background color, the height, the width. That's all that's there for. This right here is just calling jQuery, and this one is calling their cycle plugin. And you can see here inside of the parentheses they have squiggly brackets, and that's where they put their extra effects. And they have a little comment here that says choose your transition type, fade, scroll up, shuffle, etc. So under effects, they just chose fade. Let's add some more effects. So let's go back to the cycle website. Let's go back. They've got some demos here, or options reference. So you can see their syntax. You have the selector, which is the div or whatever element that you want to apply the cycle to, the cycle plugin, and then all your commands and stuff go in here. So you notice they have the effects equals fade. You can have timeout, and then it tells you, explains every single option. So milliseconds between slide transitions. So actually, let's set that. You'll notice they have got commas here, so you're going to want to put those commas in there. So fade, comma, timeout. Let's set it to 100 just to see what happens. I'm gonna let you guys guess what happens. You notice it's going a little faster, so every 100 seconds it's switching. Let's switch that to 10. Save it. I'm going to refresh. You know what? It didn't seem... I wonder why it's doing that. Maybe I need a comma. Save. Nope. Let's see, what other things do they have? Let's do scroll up. Save. I'm gonna go back, refresh. There. See, instead of fading, scrolling up. And I bet you can change how fast it scrolls. So yeah, speed right here, speed of the transition. So let's set the speed. Let's set that to 10. Let's see what happens. It's going pretty dang fast. Let's set it to 100. Still pretty fast. Let's set it to 5,000. Huh. It's not even changing. There it goes. Okay, and let's say you want to make it so it only changes when you click. I wonder what this is. Selector for elements to use click trigger for the next slide. You know, I bet you in the demo they've got some examples. Oh, this one right here. See, it says click. Let's try intermediate. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Down here they explain. Let's try demos part 2. Here it is. Click on the image for the next slide. So the way they did that was, okay, next. And then, so you're going to tell it what to click in order to get it to do next. So let's copy it. Go into Dreamweaver. Let's delete that space. Type a comma. Next equals. And then since we don't have a div with this ID, let's just make it img, which is referring to an image tag. Save it. And that seemed to do it. Click again. Although let's make it 500. Save, refresh. Yep. Although it's still going on its own. So I wonder if there's a way to pause it. Oh, they set the timeout to 0. And that's going to make it stop. Oh, and actually, right now we have it set to 10. If you set it to 0, that's going to keep it from moving at all. So, oops. So I'm waiting, nothing's happening. Okay, so there you have it, guys. Go through jQuery cycle, go through jQuery UI, go through Lightbox, look at all the options they have available, and your homework is to create a cool slideshow or like a mini website, something that uses tabs or the accordion or the Lightbox plugin, anything like that. And it should be cohesive, and so you can go ahead and use these for future projects. So I hope you learned something, and I hope it made sense, and enjoy.